Okay, so in the exam, nobody's going to ask you the types. You just have to solve the sums. So don't memorize this, but just understand. When I'll tell you what are personal pronouns, you should be able to recollect what personal pronouns are. Okay, so we begin with personal pronouns. Okay. So personal pronouns, as I've written, are used for person and person. So what do you mean by personal pronoun? Now, if I am having a conversation with a friend, okay, I'm having a conversation with my friend and we're discussing a third person with us. So I am the speaker, right? So I am the first person. My friend is the second person who is listening to me. And the person we are talking about is a third person whom we are discussing. Okay. So if I'm talking to my friend Tanvi and I'm talking about, say, some Rohit. Okay. So Rohit will become the third person because he's not available, but we are discussing about him. So I'm the speaker because I'm talking. Tanvi will become the listener because she's listening to me. She'll become the second person. And that Rohit guy will become the discussed entity or the third person. Now, this is very important. The next 4-5 slides are important for you all because the entire pronoun runs on it. Okay, so if you want me to slow down, or if you want me to stop, just write it in the chat box. But you understand this. So if you all have understood what first person, second person and third person is. Okay, so I had told you all yesterday what subject predicate is, right? So when we the name of the person or the thing or the place that we are talking about is the subject, right? Or someone that performs the action is a subject. Okay, and whatever we say about that person becomes the predicate, right? Hence we say that every subject should have every sentence should have a subject and a predicate. So my sentence, Rita is a good girl. Rita is the subject. Good girl will become the predicate. Now just pay attention because this is going to evolve, okay, further. This is very basic, but we need to start with this. So he has good memory. Okay, so he is the subject here. Now, though he is not a proper noun, he is a pronoun here. Okay, it is not a noun, but still he is the subject of our sentence. This is what I want to produce here. Again, nature is the best physician. So nature becomes the subject of our sentence. So remember, here he is the subject because we're talking about he and we are saying something about him, that he has good memory. So your subject will always not be a proper noun or a common noun. It can also be a pronoun. Okay. So yeah, so I have just, this is not necessary. Okay. So now what is subject and what is object? So when we make certain sentences, so I hope you'll have understood what subject is, right? So subject is someone that performs action. But certain sentences, okay, I want to have an object as well. So what do you mean by object? So your subject is someone who performs the action and your object is someone who receives the action. For example, if you see this sentence, Sonali purchased a laptop. So now Sonali is the one who has performed the action of purchasing, right? But then what is being purchased? There is some movement with the laptop. There is something that has happened to the laptop. Someone has purchased it, right? So the laptop is the object here. So Sonali becomes a subject. So if Sonali is a subject, this entire sentence becomes a predicate, right? And now what is the object? Laptop will become the object. Now let us see a few examples. Let me just zoom in. Okay, so Rita told Dave. Okay, so now Rita is also a proper noun. Dave is also a proper noun. So how do you know what is the subject or what is the object? Because Rita is performing. Okay, Rita is the one telling, and Dave, something happens to Dave receives the information, right? So Dave becomes your object. So Rita becomes your subject, Dave becomes your object, and this predicate is not really important here. So just understand what a subject is, what an object is. Again, Rita told me. So Rita will be the subject and me will be the object. Now see, in first case, Dave was the object, it was a proper noun. Your me is the object. Me is not a proper noun, right? Me is a pronoun here. So your objects can be proper noun, common noun, or pronouns. So your subjects, or likewise your subjects, can be a proper noun, common noun, pronouns. Now, if you see, I told Dave. Your I is the subject, Dave is the object. Okay, a few examples, then I'll tell you all why exactly I was taking you through this. She told me. Here we don't have any noun, both are pronouns, but she, okay, she is performing the act, so she is the subject, me is your object. So both are pronouns, she and me. I told you, again, both are pronouns, I is the subject, you is the object. You told me, you told me, right? You is the subject and me is the object. So why was I taking you through this is because I wanted to explain this table to y'all. This is very important. Is it visible to y'all clearly? Can you all read it? Okay. So now just don't see, this is very important, very important. Okay, but don't be what to say, taken aback because of too much of data in this. Let's just look at it. Okay, so when you have first person, now we saw there are going to be subjects, people who talk. So when I am going to talk, okay, now as I said, I am going to talk, so now I is the subject, right? Or we are going to talk, so we is the subject. Okay, likewise, I'm going to talk to you, or we are going to talk to you. So second person, you, right? And what am I going to say? Okay, so if I say Rohit is a good boy, so I'm going to say he is a good boy, or she is a good boy, or it is a good place, or they are good people. So if you see the third person, he, she, it, they. So this is how it comes, right? This is how the table is formed. So now when you will have this in object condition, okay, if I am the subject, and if I say she called me, okay, now your she will become the subject and me will become the object, right? So this changes, you have to remember this table to know what is the subject case, what is the object case, and what is the possessive case. So you have to mark this up. Did you all understand? I was just trying to simplify this to y'all so y'all understand a little better. Okay, so now if you see the possessive case table, okay, so we always say my book, okay, or that book is mine. Whenever you give someone a possessiveness that okay, it belongs to me or it belongs to her, if you see your hers, okay, or his, this is his book, means what? You are giving that book or that object, you are giving it to some entity, right? So you are giving it a possession. So this is completely easy to remember. You, yours, okay, ours, my, mine, he, she, it, and theirs. Now, again, this is easy to remember. Just twice or thrice, just take a minute and read it. I'm asking you all to read it because later on there are rules on this. So you all will have to remember this. So just take a minute, just absorb it as much as you all can, and then let's move forward. Okay. So I, remember I, subject, me, object. Okay. And again, this thing, you is going to be subject and object in both the cases. Okay. So can you pick up the subject cases? If you don't want to type just in your head, if you want to test, just a test. So what is going to be the subject case? Now what we have studied, subject cases, right? I, we, you, he, she, it, they. I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So we subject case, she is subject case, they is subject case, right? And you is subject and object case. Now what is object case again? Me is object case, right? What else is object case? It was object case, right? Yeah, it is again in both the cases, subject and object. Okay, now let's see. And don't worry, you all will go through it once or twice, you all will get it. Just don't worry about learning that. Okay, so now what is to be form of verb? So see, verbs are what are verbs? Verbs are action words, right? So if I say I kicked the book, I kicked the ball, or I lifted the book, then lifting and kicking, all these are acts, right? So these are all action verbs, and these are proper main verbs. But then words like am, is, are, was, were, be, been, okay, all this entire list. Am, is, are, and was, were. Again, be and been. These are also verbs, and these are helping verbs. When you say I am rich, okay, rich becomes an adjective. But what is this word am? Am means what? To exist, right? That I am existing as a rich person. So again, it's a verb. It's a helping verb. So remember, am, is, are, three, then was, were, and be, been. Okay, all these seven words are helping verbs. So she is rich, you, we, they are rich, I, she, he was rich, you, we, they were rich. This is how you use these helping verbs. Okay, now the rules come from where? They come from the table that we have done, and they come from the helping verbs. You have to remember two things for the rules. Okay, that is why the table, and that is why the helping verbs. So just we'll read through. Don't start reading. I will explain it to you all. Okay. So the first point in red says to be form of verb am, is, are, was, were, be, been. Okay. The first point is just a repetition. Don't read it. I will take you through this. Okay. Now the second point says use pronouns in subjective case after to be form of verb. So this is your rule. Use pronouns in subjective case. Now what was subjective case? I, we, you, he, she, it, they, right? The first column, this was subjective case. So we have to use subjective case after to be form of verb. So if my sentence is, if you see the first sentence, it was him who helped me, right? So now was is a to be form of verb, I have told you. So after was, what are we going to have? We're going to have a subjective case. What was subjective case? If you cannot remember, I will take you back. Okay, so I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So we cannot have a him. So what are we going to have? We're going to have a he. It was he who helped me. So when you say it was him who helped me, it is incorrect. You're supposed to say it was he who helped me. Now the second one, the officers of the company are Anil, Bharat, and me. Okay. So you cannot say me here, you have to say I. The officers of the company, if you see, we have this helping verb are, right? And what is our rule? Am, is, are, was, were, be, been. Anything after that has to be a subjective case. So you cannot have a me because me becomes an objective case. So you're going to have an I. And guys, this is very important, okay, from your error detection point of view. And you will get used to this even in spoken English. Don't try to say this because we speak like this a lot of times and we don't realize the errors that we make, okay? So the officers of the company are Anil, Bharat, and I. Okay. Then what do we have? It was them who called last night. Now again was, okay, first you spot a to be form of verb, then you check, okay, after to be form of verb, what case is it? Is it subjective, is it objective, or is it possessive? So after to be, we should have a subjective case, right? So it was they who called last night. So guys, everything depends on that table. Know that table and you will not make errors. It was her who sang the poem is again incorrect. It was she who sang the poem. Is this clear? Let me know. I will move forward. Or if you want to note down the table or something like that, if you want to take a snapshot. Okay. Okay. Now they're saying use pronoun in subjective case after than. Okay, so whenever you see a than, you have to use a subjective case. Sheetal is smarter than him. We always tend to say this, but this is incorrect. What is correct? If you have a than in a statement, use a subjective case. Sheetal is smarter than he is. He was the subjective case, right? So you're going to have a he is. Next, you have to use a subjective case again after but. So this is the third rule. Remember the first rule said use subjective after to be, use subjective after than, use subjective after but. So no one loves you but she is incorrect. You have to say no one loves you. Sorry, no one loves you but she is correct. You cannot say no one loves you but her. She is subjective, right? No one will teach you maths but me isn't correct. No one will teach you maths but I is again correct. Okay, so now we saw three cases where we had subjective. Now we want to say objective cases. So whenever you have a statement like when you have between, then you have something in between, then you have and, okay? You will always use an objective case. Now let's go back and see what was objective case. Okay, so me, us, you, him, her, it, their. Me, us, you, him, her, it, their. Okay. This was objective. Okay. So, just a minute. Okay. So you cannot use a I, right? So what I want to say is between these two blanks, you're going to have an objective case. So you cannot have a I here, you cannot have a she here, you cannot have that entire column of subject. You should have an objective case. So I is a subjective case, so you're going to have a me. You have to choose between her and me, okay? Or the better way to say this is you have to choose between me and her and not her and me. Okay, again, when you have this word except, you are going to have an objective case. Okay, no one will help you except he is incorrect. No one will help you except him. Now, these are all minute rules. When we say, we don't keep a track of what we're saying, but in written English, this is very important. Okay, so three places where we had subjective case, that is after to be, after than, after but, and now two places that we have seen where we need objective, that is between and except. Okay. So now these are rules, how you place your pronoun. Okay, rules on how to have the placement for pronouns. So whenever you have more than one pronoun in a sentence, then how do you place it? If you want to say he, she, they, you have a lot of pronouns, then how do you place them? So firstly, if your pronouns are singular pronouns, okay, like if you have to say you, he, she, all these are singular pronouns. And what are plural pronouns? We, y'all, they, all these are plural, right? So when you have singular pronouns, you will have the second person, the third person, and the first person. What is the second person? You is always going to be the second person. Third person is the person you're discussing about. So you, he, and the first person is I. You, he, and I. Okay, so you, he, and I are invited for the party. You and I are best friends. You, I and you is incorrect. You and I are best friends. You never say I and you. Now the second case is when you have plural, you will have your second person. Okay, so remember plural and while accepting a mistake. So if you have broken a glass, you will not say that he and I broke the glass. Okay, if you and your friend break a glass, you will not say that he and I broke the glass. You're going to put yourself first because it's a mistake that is committed. So you're going to take the blame on yourself first. You're going to say I and he broke the glass. So whenever when we saw the first case, that was for singular. Now the second point says whenever your pronouns are plural, or if you're accepting a mistake, or it is something negative, then you have to use this sequence, that is 1, 2, and 3. First person, second person, third person. So we, first person, you, second person, and they, third person, right, are invited for the party. And again, if there is a loss, right, I, because it is a loss, it is a negative thing. So I am going to take the responsibility first, right? So I, you, and he are responsible for the loss. Did you get this? See here, it is singular. Okay. Here it is singular. But because it is a negative statement or because it is a loss, we are putting it as 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's see what are demonstrative pronouns. Okay. So when you are very sure of whom you're talking to, of the person, then you use these pronouns: this, that, these, and those. Very, very simple. When do you say, give me this book? When it is singular and when it is very near to you, say, give me this book. Okay. When will you say that? When it's singular but it is far, it is at a distance from you, you'll say, give me that book. Okay. When there are too many books, you're going to say, give me these books or give me those books if they are far from you. Okay. So this is the man who stole my purse. If the man is in proximity to you, you're going to say, okay, this is the man who stole my purse. Or these are the girls who are playing in the garden, if there are a group of girls. Indefinite is when you're not sure. When you say somebody stole my purse, or some girls are playing, when you don't really know which girls you're talking about. Nobody, one, or all. If I say there was one boy, you, the listener, cannot figure out which boy it was. That is why it is indefinite. You know that there was one boy, but you don't know which boy you're talking about. Or even when you say all, don't get confused in this. All is also indefinite, because even if I say all of you, I am not clearly telling which all I'm talking about. So the listener will not understand. So all and one are still indefinite. Okay. Okay, so what are reciprocal pronouns? So pronouns which show that something is shared between two or among more than two. So when there are two, each other, okay, Shiv and Raj support each other in difficult times, or you have either. So each other and either only when there are two entities, and you will have one another when there are more than two entities. Okay, as a society, we should respect one another. Remember, you cannot say that Shiv and Raj support one another, because those are only two entities. You will always say Shiva and Raj support each other and not one another. So compound pronouns are pronouns we put a self or myself, yourself, himself. These are compound pronouns. So what are reflexive pronouns? So when you have this, what do you say? When you turn the action back at yourself, I hurt myself. Okay, this is going to be, you are the subject and you are the object both. So you're going to say, I hurt myself, and then you're going to say, they love themselves. So you're going to have an I, then you have a hurt, and then you have a compound pronoun, that is myself, right? This is just for information. This has nothing to do with the error spotting. Emphatic pronoun, just because you should know the type of pronoun I put this, but it is where you emphasize the fact. So when you say, I cooked the meal myself, okay, you're trying to emphasize the fact that you have done that task. Okay, so you say, I myself cooked the meal, means you want to highlight the fact that you have cooked the meal, or you yourself ruined your life. Means what? That you're trying to tell that person that you have done this, dude. Like you have. So when you want to emphasize it, right? Just for that, just because there is a type, you all should be knowing. Interrogative pronouns which come with a question mark, are interrogative. Who, whom, whose, which. Okay. Again, what? When do we use what? To ask information, occupation, or profession, right? What are you? So if you want to ask about the profession, what is your father? To ask about your father's profession. What is for dinner? Okay, just basic questions. Okay. So what is used when subject or the noun is absent? So what has been taught in class will be asked in exams. What I mean here by this slide is, whenever you don't know what you're talking about, you're going to replace it by what. So what has been taught in class will be asked in exams, because you don't know what is taught. So if you have to say that the essay that was taught in class, the chapter that was taught in class, you have not mentioned. So you can just say whatever was taught in class, whatever you want, you can order. So when you don't know the subject is not clear, you use a what. Or I can imagine what your condition is. Now it is not clear if that person is happy or sad. It is not mentioned. It is just what. What is like a blank here. So distributive pronoun means what? The action is distributed, either, neither, each and every. Okay, so either, neither, as I told you, when there are two, either Delhi or Mumbai. Okay, neither Delhi nor Mumbai, only two. And each and every, when there are more than two. Now if I have 10 students in my class, I'm going to say each of you should do your homework. Okay, or every one of you should do your homework. Like each of you must attend the seminar. Okay, so now again few rules. This won't fit in. Okay. So when you have an each, every, either, or neither. Okay, when your sentence is going to start with this, then you're going to have a noun, then you're going to have a verb, and then you're going to have a pronoun. Okay. Your noun should be singular, your verb should be singular, and your pronoun should be singular. Remember this, very important. Now these are very, very important rules. Okay. When you have a each, every, either, neither, then you'll have a noun, a verb, and a pronoun. Everything should be singular. The noun should be singular, the verb should be singular, the pronoun should be singular. So when you say each, then you have a noun. Student is a noun. It is singular, it is not students. Then you have a verb, that is appear, must appear, which is singular for the test, right? Here there is no pronoun. Pronoun can be optional. Either it will be there or not there. So when you start with each, remember after that, whatever noun you will have, so you cannot say each students must appear for the test. You have to say each student because the noun has to be singular. Okay, each student brought his own calendar. You cannot say each students, every boys. You cannot say like that. So the noun has to be singular, the verb has to be singular. Now again, but if you have the word of the in between, if you have the word of the in your sentence, then the noun becomes plural, everything else remains single. So when you have each of the, then it becomes each of the students. So see, each student, but each of the students. Okay, that this is very crucial. When you have of the, then you have to put an S. Each of the students brought his own calendar. Why it is like that, to conceptually tell you, when you say of the means if there is a group of students, you're picking up from that. That is why of the. Each of the boys means you're picking up from a group of boys. So each of the boys. Like that, if you get that logic. But remember, if it is of the, then have a plural noun. Have you got this? Okay. So when two or more nouns are joined by either or neither nor, you have to use a singular pronoun. If you have to say two nouns, right? So Reena or Shreya, then you will have a singular pronoun her. Either Reena or, this is very important, okay? Either Reena or Shreya forgot her book. You cannot say either Reena or Shreya forgot their book. You cannot say that. Because remember, either or and either nor were distributive pronouns. So you're talking either about Reena or about Shreya. You're not talking about both of them. So you're going to have a singular pronoun here. So if a sentence did not have a either or, if the sentence was Reena and Shreya forgot dash book, then what would you have? You would have their book, Reena and Shreya, because you're talking about both of them. Then it becomes plural because there are two entities. So then it becomes Reena and Shreya forgot their book. But in this case, because it is a distributive pronoun, you're going to say either Reena or Shreya forgot her book. Okay. And when you have a plural noun and a singular noun, then the pronoun is going to depend on the nearest noun. What we mean is, see here in this case, either the manager or the assistants. Now manager is singular, there is one manager, but assistants are plural, right? There can be a number of assistants. So in this case, what do we use? Do we use their or do we use his? So it is going to agree to the nearest noun. So what is the nearest? Is assistants, right? Okay. So because assistants is plural, we are going to have a their. Likewise, you can even say, right, either the assistants or the manager. Then what are we going to have here? We're going to have his because manager is the nearest. Both these sentences are same. In the first sentence, the manager was the first entity and assistants was the second, and vice versa in the second sentence. Did you all get this, or is it too much of information? Are y'all with me? Okay, so this is, I get it. This is too much of information, but revise it twice or thrice. That's it. You will get a hang of it. Relative pronouns. Now, again, one major concept we have. So who, whom, whose, which. Basically, they relate your subject and your main phrase, okay, your predicate. Now, we'll just see what it is. Okay, so now please be very attentive, okay? 2-3 important concepts remaining. So if you're, okay, so what is who? When do you say who? Okay, when you have your sentence goes like, the girl who sang the solo is my best friend. This is a common statement that we make, right? Now you have a verb. So what is the subject here? The girl, right? Who becomes a relative pronoun because it is relating the subject to the main sentence, sang the solo, right? And there is a verb related to the subject. So girl is the subject. What is the girl doing? What activity is the girl doing? She's singing, right? Singing the solo. So there is a verb for your subject. So basically, when do you use who? Whenever there is a verb related to the subject. See, I am telling this because we get confused whether to use a who or to use a whom. So now I'm going to tell you all when to use a who and when to use a whom. So now this is the boy who stole my purse. So the boy is the subject, right? Who is the relative pronoun, and there is a verb. So if you see the subject, there is a verb for the boy. That the verb is stole. The boy has stole the purse, right? So then you have a who. So when do you use a whom? When we do not have a verb for the subject. Okay. So if I tell you this is a boy whom I met in the market. Now be very, very careful with this sentence. This is the boy. Okay. The boy becomes the subject. Okay. Now, if you see this sentence, what is a verb? I is not a verb. Met is a verb. This is not a verb, not a verb, not a verb, not a verb. Okay, so there's only one verb, met. But this met is for whom? This met is for I, right? I met. So this verb is for I and not for the boy. So the boy, the subject, does not have a verb associated with it. Then you will have a whom. This is the boy whom I am. Guys, there are spot the errors, or there are grammatical questions on who and whom. Okay, this is very basic. So here, as I've written, there is no verb present for the boy. Let's take another example. This is the girl whom Rita taught dancing. Now, okay, the subject is girl, right? There is a verb taught, but who has taught? Rita has taught, right? Is there a verb for the girl? What is the girl doing? No, there is no verb. Then you want to have a who. Okay, come on, is this clear me? Akshay, Alisha, Prathamesh, Sakshi, Shweta. Okay, so now these are peculiar cases where when we use a whom. Whom do you want to speak to? Whom do you want to meet? Whom are you talking to? Okay, this is just for you all to know. Okay, you have to use a whom and not a who. But in exams, you will you will have to correct the sentences. So now please give me answers to this, to the first one and to the second one. This is the boy dash was lost in the jog. Will I have a who or a whom? Just see if there is a verb for the subject. Okay. Okay, and the second one? Okay, cool. So very clear. Now who answers this one correctly? Check if there is a verb for the subject. Okay. Akshay and Prathamesh. Okay. So this is the boy who I met in the market stole my purse, because stole is a verb present for the boy. So whose is again for possession and ownership. The boy whose parents were killed in the accident, right? The man whose bike was stolen yesterday. Okay, so when do we use which? Which is used for non-living things, for animals, or for extra information or selection. What I mean is, use it for non-living. You don't generally use it for persons. Okay, you don't generally use it for living human beings. The door which is painted red, the book which I ordered. So you never say the boy which I met. You say the boy that I met. That is what I mean by you don't use a which for human beings. Okay. The book which I ordered online. I like the house which faces east. These are just examples of when you have to use which. Okay. So then we use that when we have to replace on which, in which, at which. I remember the day on which he came. Okay, so I remember the day that he came. This is the report to which I was referring. This is the report that I was referring. Very simple. Okay, that cannot be used when we are talking about a single attribute. What I mean is, now look at the sentence. My father, that is a schoolmaster, is incorrect. Okay, because you're talking about the father, some attribute that the father has. So you cannot say that. You have to say my father, who is a schoolmaster. Okay, you cannot say that. What I mean by this is, okay, so now you have one father, right? Everybody has one father. So single attribute means what? Father is an entity. Everybody has one father. So you cannot use a that with it. But when you have sisters, you can have 2, 3 or more sisters. Then you can have a that. This is what we mean by single attribute. So my father, who is a schoolmaster. But if you have to say I have 2 sisters, if I have 2 sisters, you can say my sister that lives in New York. Okay, you can say my sister who lives in New York, or you can say my sister that lives in New York. Then there is not a problem with that. But if you have to say my father, then you cannot say my father that is a schoolmaster, because you're talking about one father, right? My father who is a schoolmaster. You cannot say, okay, my father that is a schoolmaster and another father that is a headmaster. You cannot say that, because single attribute don't use a that. So my mother who is a teacher, okay, or my mother who is a banker, like that. But my brother, if you have multiple brothers or if you have multiple cousins, then you can say a that with it. If you have one house, my house which is in Delhi is huge. And if you have 2 houses, my house that is in Delhi and my house that is in Pune, or my house that is in Mumbai. I hope this is clear. If it's not, then stop me. So again, that is used for persons, as we saw. It is used for things. It is used for pair of subjects. Pair of subjects means what? If it is a person and an animal, then you can use it. The man and his cat that take a walk every day. Now you cannot say which here because we saw which is not used for human beings. So you cannot say a which here. This is the boy that I told you of. The crowd that gathered. You can even use a whom here, right? Now, when do we use a that again? When there is superlative degree of adjective. So SOTY is the worst movie that I ever saw. Why are we using a that here? Because worst is a superlative degree. This is the best that we can do, okay? Why are we using a best? We're using a best, that is if we've used that. He is the most eloquent speaker that I have heard, okay? Again, we use a that when sentence is beginning with an interrogative word. What is there that is impossible for my friend? So when you have an interrogative starting, you can use a that. This is just informative, okay? Okay, now this is a little important. So if you have an indefinite pronoun, okay, or if you have words like the same, the such, then you use a that. So when you have indefinite pronoun, we just saw all is an indefinite pronoun. So you cannot say all which glitters is gold. You have to say all that glitters is gold. Okay, so this is basic because you should know if you have to use a that or a which in the sentence. Now all these rules are because you should know you should not use a which. Why should you not use a which? Because it is an all is an indefinite pronoun, so it should have a that. All that glitters is not gold. This is the boy whom I saw in the market. Okay, you can say that. This is correct what we studied. But if you have to say this is the same boy, if you have the word the same, then you have to say that. You cannot say whom. Okay. It was such a hot day that nobody could work. You have this word such, so you're going to have the word that. Okay. Okay. So just few rules: when to use a which, when to use a who, when to use a that. Now remember, in sentence correction at times they have the sentences where they will give a comma after that. Remember that that is never followed by a comma. After which, if which is used like a pronoun or a conjunction, you can put a comma after that. Okay, so exercise. Please give me answers. First one. It was her who did it for you. Now, was is a to be form. What are we going to have after to be? Subjective case. So, what should we have here? Yeah, correct. Second sentence. It's just you and Raghu, nothing else. You should not have a yourself. Third one. Neither of the brothers has brought their beddings. Now I told you whenever the neither, what should you have? You have a of the. So your noun is going to be plural. That's correct. You will have an s. Has brought, but everything else should be singular, right? So you will have a his. Remember this. Neither, either, verb, pronoun, noun should be singular. But when you have of the, your noun becomes plural. So it is going to be brothers. But it's going to be his beddings, right? Fourth one. Either of his four sons have sold his property after his death. Okay, so here the thing is you cannot have a either because it is four sons. This is very important. Because it is four, you cannot have either. You will say any of his four sons. Okay, because either applies to only two sons. Either of the two. You even don't say either of the two because it is conveyed that either है तो दो ही होगा, right? The mother and the son gave his consent. This is incorrect because you have and in between. You're talking about both of them. So you'll have a gave their consent. I know which to say. I know what to say. You will not have a picture. It was by luck that you, we, and they were away. Again, you will have that for singular, plural, that rule 1, 2, 3. It was by luck that we, you, and they were away from danger. Sunil is stronger than me. Then you will have a subjective case. You will have an I here, right? My house is better than you. Now here, my house, you're not comparing the house to that you, right? You're saying my house is better than your house. So you have to say my house is better than your house and not you. My house is better than your house, or my house is better than yours, like that. Okay, that's it. This was all about pronouns. So we are done. Did you guys understand? Okay, so I have one slide for vocab, I guess. Okay. So if you can read through this bell, B-E-double-L means war. So rebel comes from it, bellicose, belligerent, all these three words. And then again, all these words are derived from the word ego. Okay. Any questions? You can use your mics if you don't want to keep chatting. Are you guys there? Okay, so we are done here. If you have nothing, let's wrap up. You all did the vocabulary. आज vocabulary किया. See, I will ask you all after 10 days how many words you all have. Huh? Keep numbering those words. And the PDF that I am sending, you all can pick words from that also, because these are the latest words. So latest words and latest Hindu column, there are more chances that they will ask this in the exam. Okay. So do vocabulary like this. So vocabulary from root words. Now this is not latest. Okay, but this will add to your vocab, but then latest vocabulary is very important, like words from today's newspaper. So I send it in that PDF form. You keep doing that and keep adding that to your book. And read the Hindu, because now in 2 or 3 sessions I'm going to take a session on RC. So for RC, all you need is good reading speed and good understanding. Be from English medium, Hindi or Marathi, any medium, every student struggles in reading and understanding and then marking the answers. So the column, the newspaper that I send, the left hand side, there are 2 columns. Okay, the editorial of the Hindu. Start reading at least one editorial in a day. Okay. Okay then. So we will stop here. Okay. If anything, then text in the group.
You are currently the only person in this conference.